We here at the Gaming Saloon Rift Tracks always support any and all that are involved in the creation and distribution of any show we feature, and we'll encourage any of those watching to support the official release. Thank you and enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to a special episode of the Gaming Saloon Rift Tracks for September 14th, 2013, with your host, Peacemaker2448.
And Rampant Epsilon. And possibly Glock whenever he gets in here.
Yeah.
And I hope that Google fixed the problem. If not, I'm going to throw it again. So I'm just kind of playing it by ear.
Oh.
And God, I hate trying to pull up the stream on the site because it's blaring in my ear. Hey, they fixed it and made it better, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, since we had Friday the 13th yesterday, I didn't really have any bad luck.
I didn't either. Of course, I never have bad luck on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I actually had a really cool thing happen on my way to Cleveland State. Because on my way to Cleveland State, there was 13 to 14 really old, really nice cars driving down the road in a group. I don't know where they were going. I'm guessing they're heading up to Gatlinburg this weekend for the Rod Run or Shades of the Past. I don't know, but they were together because they had this sign tied onto the back of all their cars, or almost all of them. And it was really nice to pass them all and see them. Of course, the only bad luck I had was Thursday, where someone decided to be an idiot and stopped way too late turning as I was turning onto a road.
That would figure.
Yeah. Not paying attention and probably in a hurry too. So yeah, folks, special episode this week because it's not a regular scheduled episode. And it's more of just a bonus.
Yep.
Because we're looking at All Riders versus Dai Shocker, the solo Kamen Rider Decade film.
Which I kind of feel like finishes the season out a little better than the one we watched.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
I'm not saying that the one we watched was the worst of the two, by no means.
Yeah.
It just does not feel like the end of Decade like this one does.
Yeah, I think this does more for Decade as a character than the series itself.
Yeah.
So much more. Now, I will say, I think it's got a better title card than Movie War 2010.
Honestly, I don't pay much mind to the title cards.
Neither do I, but since I've had it up on my TV for a while, it's like, this could count as a movie poster, really.
Yeah.
Because it's nearly got every single writer that's going to be in the film prominently, besides Jay, but...
Yeah, I was going to say they're missing Jay that I can tell, but other than that, looks like all of them.
Well, the reason that is, that shot right there is either taken from a promotional photo or from a set photo. That bottom half, where they're all lined up, it's from that same shot.
Yeah.
And Jay's not there because he's important later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Important. Let's throw that word around.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's a Pokemon announcement Monday. I don't know what it is. It's a surprise announcement, so who the hell knows what it is?
You know, that's kind of sad that Nintendo can get more hype out of Pokemon than they can out of any of their consoles.
True.
One franchise can do better than anything else they throw out there.
Yeah, and if you look at their success in the portable market, it says a lot too.
I just find that completely funny, right? You hear these big special announcements for Pokemon related stuff, and that's actually something. You take any other franchise and they try to do something like that, it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like last week they announced that Peach is going to be back for uh, the new Smash Brothers. That was it. They showed off some screenshots where she's got a couple new moves, but yeah, that's it. Peach is coming back. Yay!
See right there.
They treated it just like their Luigi announcement. It's like, oh yeah, this character's coming back. It'd be better if they were announcing new characters, which, strangely enough, they haven't since E3. Because we haven't heard of anybody new since then, when the game was first announced.
And you probably won't.
3 new characters.
I wouldn't be surprised.
One of them not Nintendo related.
Like I said, I really would not be surprised if you don't have any more.
So yeah, back on topic.
Yeah, since we got way off there.
Yeah, on All Riders. It's been like 2 months since I've sat down and watched the film.
Wow.
Because I know I was up late one night and I watched it. And that's the last time I've seen it since probably when I first watched the film. And that would have been when I first watched Decade, so.
So wait, you actually managed to sit through this one again?
Yeah?
On your own free will.
Yeah.
That's more than you can be able to say about Decade.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's fine at points, and it doesn't aggravate me as much as, Superhero ties in. I'm sorry, Keith, you love that film, but you're kind of in the minority of loving that film. Just saying. Keith Justice from HJU loves that film. I don't know how, but he loves it.
Huh.
I was bored with that film. I really was. I wasn't upset about it. I was bored with it because it tells the same story literally throughout almost the entire film and just flip-flops characters. That's really it. They really don't try to make either half different until late into the film. And by the time you're late into the film, you start to question what the hell's going on. And when you get the twist, it's what the hell. Like, literally, what the hell. So, yeah. Outriders is a fine film. Pretty much is how I feel about it. It's a fine film. If you want it in for Decade, watch this, and you'll be happy. Just ignore the Decade half of movie here of 2010, and ignore 30 and 31. Just ignore them.
Well, 30 and 31 proper.
Either 30, 31, really.
They don't try to close it out better than the special ones?
No.
Wow.
I'll tell you how 31 ends. You remember that whole Rider War scene from the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. They stop they stop being the same when Tsukasa comes back from that alternate dimension Wataru brings him to, and he's surrounded by all the riders and a Black Eyes Kuga that's not Onodori for some reason. It's apparently some other Kuga. Apparently the website doesn't specify either Kuga is, so I guess it's a third one. And then they fight, and then they reuse all the same footage from episode 1 with Natsumi doing a monologue to herself. Or Natsumi doing a narration, and then it ends.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it kind of just is a big screw up even in the special ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's supposed to tie into the movie War 2010. And when I say all the same footage, I do mean all the same footage. Like, even when Decade's like hovering over the Denliner and Ryuki with all the dead riders around him. That's the shot it ends on. With Natsumi saying Decade. Exactly from episode 1. That's how it ends. And it's supposed to tie into the movie.
So essentially what they wound up doing when it comes to the end of 31 is say, why did we even make the past 30 episodes? We already had this. Am I right there?
Because it really doesn't go anywhere. It's like nothing's changed. Not even the end is mentioned in it. And he's like the new variable in all this. Like, if you're going to do this whole come full circle, you at least have to have something different happen. Nothing different happens. So what the hell?
Yeah, to me that sounds like, why even bother looking at the other 30 episodes? If you watch the beginning of the first one, you already know what's going to happen.
Literally. That's bad coming from someone who's watched a review of Madoka Magica, and that has a full circle plot within it from episode 1 to episode 13, but at least shit happens differently in the beginning of 1 and the end of 13 from what I watched. So, whole full circle plot, but it still does something different in that full circle for it to not feel like the last 12 episodes were completely pointless.
Well, okay. Like you said, though, the end. That should have changed some of that.
Nope.
I mean, let's face it, the ones we watched, that did change it.
Yeah? Because the end did the whole fuck you, Tsukasa, bang. For who knows why he did it, but at least he did it.
And at least it changed something.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I think we did the right pick as far as doing the original 30 and 31.
Yeah. And then see the preview for the movie we never got.
Cause I'm sorry there, but I kind of feel like that 31 leads into movie War 2010 better than what you just explained.
Yeah. Again, that 30 and 31 special the end of 31 special I described, was aired before movie War 2010 debuted, like maybe a couple weeks before it debuted. To better tie in, because they didn't write the movie we got that preview for. Because that totally wasn't interesting. No, we have to throw in Tackle for no goddamn reason. Tackle Why is Tackle in that movie? What point does she serve that Yusuke, Natsumi, or Dien can't fill? What reason?
She died.
Oh no, a character died. I didn't stop them from killing everybody else in the fucking movie, including Yusuke. So what's the point?
uh,
There's no connection there because we come in halfway through the goddamn story.
uh,
Oh, as soon as we get introduced to her, she's been following him around for a while now, and it's like, what? Why? What?
yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, at least Devil redeems that film a bit.
Honestly, I could take out that whole first 30 minutes of that movie and I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it. I would not miss it.
yeah. Trust me, that's how I feel. How I feel about it. Because when I first actually watched the film, I was watching double, so I skipped that whole 30 minutes, and I didn't miss shit, except for that end credit scene where I'm like, who? Who are these people, and why are they talking about this shit? Oh, I'm assuming it's Decade stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna ignore it. But literally, I just skipped to the double portion of it when I first watched it because I didn't watch Decade yet, and I was like, oh, this is the end of the series. Well, I'm not gonna watch it because then I won't know what the hell's going on. Come to find out, I still don't know what the hell's going on,
And you
even
have
after watching.
watched it twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have anything else to say about All Riders before we get into it?
Besides dumbest final form there is, no. Because I'm sorry, we can sit here and talk about how horrible some of the others are, but no. I just feel like this one has the least amount of purpose.
True.
The move that comes out of it, I'm fine.
But the form itself,
Yeah.
it kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Granted, it's the only Final Form ride we've never gotten a toy form for, but I don't think many people will miss that.
I don't think so either.
Granted, I don't know how many people. If I don't know if people like the Decade, would they be willing to track those down?
Probably if they like Decade.
Because you get the figure that it's one of the main riders, and it transforms into the Final Form ride as best as it can be. Because some of them are better than others from what I've seen, and it's also got the Final Attack ride card for that respective rider. And you also get a Decade complete, and the end in that series. So, yay. And Cyclone, and Joker are in Figuarts. And you can, I don't know how easy it is to pick him up, but if you've got silver paint, just pick up Joker and Cyclone and paint them. You'll probably get cheaper that way.
And get the same outcome.
Pretty much. The only thing is it's going to have the Lost Driver on it instead of the Double Driver, but oh no. You'll just be reversing how those suits came out. Because I don't know if it's specifically this way, but I almost guarantee that the Joker suit got turned into the Joker suit in A to Z. I guarantee it.
Probably.
Alright. You ready?
I guess so.
Alright. Alright. Starting up, All Riders versus Dai Shocker. The Kamen Rider Decade film. In 3, 2, 1, go. Tell me what time code you're at. Just keep
Mm,
going, but tell me when you get to about 19 seconds.
right now.
Okay. My video was ahead a bit and I didn't see it, so
Ah,
instead of just stopping and going back, I just figured I'd catch you. I'd pick up where you came in. And it's that same stadium I've seen in the Gokaiger Gavon film and the Fives movie from the clips I've seen of it, I believe.
huh.
Like I've said previously, if you watch a lot of Rider and Sentai, you start to notice the same locations over and over again.
Well, yeah, true.
Okay, why is Ixa in that list right there? It's all main writers and somehow Ixa's in there for some reason.
They needed filler. Don't you know that?
So we're gonna use the secondary writers as jobbers in this film.
Apparently.
And apparently the stadium has its own holodeck. Somehow. Oh, Glock would be fangasming so hard right now.
Oh, yeah. And that would end in about the next, what, 3 minutes, if that?
Well, they stopped the fight before uh, things happen, so
True.
it's gonna be 20 minutes before we get back to this fight. Wow, Dickie's getting the shit kicked out of him,
Seriously.
which is gonna make the outcome of this fight really weird.
And boom.
Explosion into the title screen. I love they had to put in a sign for verses in the logo. Wait, Tsukasa not a terrible photo taker? Who the
Not in his
fuck would have
world.
guessed? Now, I have no clue if this picture was ever in the show.
I don't either.
And now he has a key.
That hasn't been talked about through the whole show.
Yep. Then again, I don't think he's had this coat on, so. Yes, I'm starting to remember shit because the writers are starting to remember my point. Or at least some characteristics of mine. Besides Dick.
Yeah.
Some random person with a camera. Your brother with a random camera. No, Scott, so you get a emote just a little bit more. Because I get the feeling he's just kind of staring off in the distance instead of being, I have what now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's forgotten a lot of stuff, including
Yep.
how to react to things.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay, why is that? You see that on the trench coat, right?
What?
How it's knotted in the back like that?
Oh, yeah.
Why? That seems really dumb. Wait, 10 years ago? Well, that's an interesting number.
Yeah.
I was about to say, that happened. Who took the... Oh, there. That's what... That's an odd reflection for that picture, but okay. 5 minutes.
10 at the most.
Foreshadowing. No, because I don't remember crap.
Wait, and how do you know that?
Because that thing that deals with the foreshadowing.
And now we get the whole reasoning behind it that for like the fifth time.
That makes me go, wait, what? It's like, okay, the writer's powers are bringing them together. How? They all have different powers.
Seriously.
Like, what? Two use cars, another uses sound. How the fuck does this even begin to connect each other? Foreshadowing. Random foreshadowing for a character to appear for 5 seconds in the form of a cameo. Yes.
Yes, he's remembered.
Now I have developed split personality disorder. Or at least that's my theory on why Tsukasa does all this shit.
I kind of agree with you on that.
Well, there went Amazon in a fight that was quick as crap.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's this Buddy Black. RX. I
That
can't
was easy
pronounce
for you to
words.
say.
Yes. And he's got some thing on his wrist. I don't know what it is. And a review for his figure, it was called an 80s wristwatch, which I don't think is accurate.
And Hollow Field again.
Now we're in this other place that Toei has a license to film on, I guess. Because I
Yeah,
think,
apparently.
wait, isn't this the same place where they did the Black RX special?
Yep. Yep. You
Wow.
noticed that too. I had watched this like not long after we did the Black RX one, and I was like, wait, this is that spot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, now you done pissed him off. That was a good one.
Yes, now you turned him into RoboCop.
Fuck up.
Up. That was a bit of a more even fight.
Yeah.
Okay, do we really need to split Kamen like this?
Why not?
Now Yosuke decides he's going to do something important for
For
once.
once. Oh god. And his opponent?
Not Agito, because that would have actually been a good fight.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't try to work in everyone's theme song when they come in.
That probably would have been too much to try to do.
Or just a quick little, like, instrumental version of it. That's not how your powers work, Yosuke! You just can't pop around out of
Seriously.
nowhere! I've seen your series! It don't work like that! You need a stick in order to make it to into the rod.
I don't understand that. They completely break that.
Yeah. Yes, Zick Ross is a ninja. Different voice actor from Megamax. Ix is here for some reason. Wait, then how does it decide who wins?
Seriously.
Wait, if he's got that, isn't Amazon dying right now, from what I understand of Amazon?
Isn't Amazon dead right now, though?
No, because he survived the attack. He just went through a dimensional wall to some random place. V3. The Kung Fu Space Rider Super 1, and Black.
Which, at least they thought of that because now Decade can't pull one of his dick moves where he could change one of the 9 into their final form and use them against each other.
True. I kind of like the music that's right here right now.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering if I was kidding about the whole Space Kung Fu Master for Super 1, I'm not. See, he's got all the Kung Fu moves down, including something that's physically impossible.
I think DN forgot that it was
Three
open
on.
for. I think DN kind of thought it was open to everyone there because he kind of just hits everyone.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he cares about the fight anymore, because he's like, oh, I'm out. Peace.
Well, he had to kind of back off. If you think about it, him and Decade would actually have been a fair fight.
True.
I swear, I think that's the only time he used 2 cards in a row that actually functioned.
Yeah. Also, somehow Decade's able to beat them again.
Well, he's got to. The show's called Kamen Rider Decade.
True. Yes, I'm evil now, don't you know?
As planned.
Now it's time to blow up stadium. Because we buried our base under the stadium! And as you can see, the same shot from movie War 2010. Literally.
Yeah.
And somehow they're inside the building. With all these different monsters from Rider past. I'm trying to think if they screwed up in this movie too and somehow put Joker in here for no reason. Grandpa, what the hell are you doing here? And
And here comes the twist.
yeah, somehow that knock managed to make Grandpa evil too. Or he's evil. I don't know. This twist doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's because they even got the evil boots too.
Yeah. He's got that whole evil dick move to him.
Yeah. You know, this movie honestly makes me believe that this actor would be fantastic as a villain.
Yeah.
Yes, that was his. The whole time. Except the spoiler later than film. No, no, it doesn't.
No.
Yeah, because nothing's gonna stop us unless we somehow go into a Super Sentai world. But that's for another movie. And somehow Wataru told him to do this plan to begin with. Think about that
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of caught that one.
Good thing this trapdoor releases this random sewer place somewhere in the middle of somewhere. We don't know where this leads. No, you totally weren't.
But you know what gets me?
What?
He still never defeated Kuga. He defeated alternate Kuga.
Yeah, the
They break that every time.
No.
Whoops, just said the wrong thing there.
Yeah. Have you not learned by now that Tsukasa's kind of in for himself for the most part?
I mean, it obviously didn't take her long to figure that one out.
And somehow Tsukasa can walk through them. But she can't.
Yet she could see through the portals.
Yes. Is it weird for me to think that if the two of them stuck together, that'd probably be a better story?
It probably would have.
No. Dude's straight up evil now. True. By the way, I'm alternate Shadow Moon. Apparently that was a hint as well to who he was. Not gonna catch her? Nah. I guess she doesn't matter.
She's not needed.
Nope.
She's not a rider.
Not yet, anyway. Because no one knows why. No. Because that makes no goddamn sense to begin with. She is. I'm sure that's a reference to a previous Rider villain that I have no clue who is.
Yeah. Same here.
But I made this outfit and everything. You kind of went evil, son. This is what happens when you go evil.
But he didn't even hit the button.
He didn't need to hit the button. He knew the exact motion in order to do it. Oh, look, Rising Ultimate. Fantastic.
Yeah.
He kind of couldn't because he forgot you, but I guess it was before he lost his memory. So yeah. Ah, studio looks kind of lonely. Considering everybody in it has turned evil besides Natsumi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pouring down out here. And I'm kind of not wearing anything under this. At least not the jacket. And hey, look, for once, things are truly Decade's fault.
Yeah. Where's Narutaki to say that right when you need him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she kind
Face
of
it,
agrees with
Tsukasa.
that.
Yeah. Face it, Tsukasa. You biffed it. You biffed it really hard. By the way, how the hell did Decade create the bridges? Because he couldn't really go anywhere without the studio.
Yeah. And I still don't understand how the studio created the bridges.
Yeah, I don't think anyone understands how the fuck the studio works to begin with. And now we get orchestral shocker rocket troopers?
Hey, here's that destruction scene.
Ooh. People getting ripped apart. At least when they're in shadow. Bit of a callback considering what she's wearing to the first episode.
Yeah.
Wor worlds. Worlds. You need to put the plural on there. Yes. Now I'm going to be helpful.
And
Because
wait, now Narutaki actually has a use.
yes, I need to be helpful.
It's still kind of a mystery as to how he can go through these portals, but
Yeah. Or even what the hell his deal with Decade is. Also, I somehow change clothes when I transform. Don't ask.
I don't understand that.
I mean, he didn't even do the grab the right shoulder of the clothing piece to rip it off. He just transformed. Oh, by the way, now we get a backstory for DN Driver 2. Maybe. Maybe it's because the Deca driver was in the photo studio that he was able to cross the worlds. Maybe. Yep. You betrayed them all.
It's all Decade's fault.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Man up, make up for your mistakes, and be a hero. That might be what you need to do right now.
Or actually apologize.
Yes. I'm the guy who sings your theme song, who's cameoing as an alternate version of another writer. And yes, that is legit who sings the theme song for Decade. And for this movie, and for Movie War 2010. You didn't crush all of them. You kind of have one standing right in front of you. Yeah, he's alternate universe Rider Man, which is why he has that robotic arm.
Wow. He's getting his bullshit speech said to him this time.
Yes.
This only happens like a handful of times, I've noticed.
Yeah. Yes. In order to take on Dai Shocker, you hire Oja and kick Hopper. Yet I think you've made a mistake here. You hire two evil writers to help you. You would have been better off getting G.
Good one.
Yep.
I so love how when he shoots, his cards damage whatever he's aiming at.
Yeah.
And does he have to summon them in threes?
Well, for this instance, yes, because he summons Kid Hopper's partner, and spoilers for Ryuki, he summons the two characters that Oja kills in Ryuki.
Yeah, but I mean, every time he winds up doing three.
Maybe he likes threes. What if I did?
Yes, he stole it, but he can use it better than you.
Yes. Hey, seriously, who would use this thing better than me?
And here comes Mr. Anti-Apology.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one kind of killed him. Of course, he still leaves.
Now he's just speeding out nonsensical nonsense.
Yes.
As you notice, there's no apology to Natsumi.
Or anyone.
Yeah. Because, like I've said before, this entire movie is his fault. Not in a quality sort of way, but the plot of this movie happens because Decade lets it happen. And by the way, for 44 minutes into the film, we are literally past the halfway point.
Yeah.
I didn't say in the finale, but I like the music from Decade, especially music like this.
Yeah.
And he has to gargle whatever he drank in order to transform.
Yep.
Yes, and Grandpa's also a monster. Oh, good thing this convenient fog hid us from them. Just gonna say out of the way, not gonna say, oh, take cover. Try to get it as far away as possible because this is not going to end well for us because, we're gonna take it on an army.
Yeah, let's just get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, because some of these guys aren't pushovers. Not even in their own shows. What about the end?
Forget the end. He ain't the main character.
And somehow everybody else decides to show up.
I like that shot right there.
Yes. Especially of the original three riding in. Dear God, Shin still looks so weird in this lineup. And the bikes somehow disappear.
Yeah, that just
Fantastic! I.e., you didn't kill us to begin with. You just kind of made us. You just had us lose a fight, and then just us poof off behind a dimensional wall. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's kind of cool in this? If you see them take off, they all have their little like ticks that'll do. Like if you watch Fies, he'll do his little hand flick that he does before a fight. And somehow they're changing positions in this fight too. At least they tried to hide the little spots where the explosions were going to come from. And Kabuto's in here with the original too for some reason. Guess they're just like mixing people together for this fight scene. Of course, the end gets a line. Or not the end. The end. Deno. When I say the end, he's got lines throughout this entire film. Now, bear in mind, this is supposed to be all the originals. Because you hear, Kiba wasn't a kid.
Yeah. It's funny how some of them are so close to looking like others.
That's probably what the Showa guys.
It's more so with them, but I mean, you can kind of see it in a lot of the designs.
Yeah. Well, with the Showa guys, it was the same production crew almost every single show. So that's why kind of the show era share a lot of same design elements, and also why they're more connected than the Heisei era. And I think for the rest of them, it's just kind of you see bits of the past because with Kabuto, you can see a bit of Stronger in there because that was kind of the design point. Because I believe in Kabuto, design-wise, the guys, all the writers in there were supposed to have design elements from previous writers, a little bit.
I mean, I'm not saying it like a bad thing, but you kind of can see a lot of them share designs.
Yeah. That's also one of those things, like, you go for 40 years, you know, some ideas get reused a bunch. And your mic's going all sorts of crackly, crackly, crack.
Crap.
And somehow he has to turn Deno into Momotaros. Why? I don't know, he just does. And somehow Dege was able to stick 2 cards in his belt, which I don't think he could ever do.
I don't either.
Because that's the end stick, not decades.
It
Hopefully
only
Grandpa...
took 6 riders to take one person down.
Yeah. Dege, you might want to turn Momotaros back into Deno. You might need Deno. And hopefully Grandpa's okay after that. Um, kind of came back here randomly. You see, this is more of what should have been happening before.
Yeah.
Trying to make up for his past. Hurry up! Hurry up! It's kind of choking me out here. Aw, no Decade after that. I'm disappointed. Someone has to make it for Narataki here. That was fast.
He moves quick.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if it's in the original design, but those heels on, or I don't know what to call them, but those things coming off the back of his feet, they're huge for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't think they're supposed to be that big. And now we get Red Eye's Rising Ultimate because this form needed to stick around.
Well, apparently he has no control over that. Because did you notice that every time he winds up in one of his ultimate forms, it's kind of stuck forever for him.
Apparently. Our heroes are down. Well, time for a cameo.
I like this part.
Yes. He's green. No, he's black. Green, black, green, black. No, he's both. That think he's got a whole lot of colors to him, but God, Philip's voice sounds so weird in this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this was the first time that a writer cameoed in the previous writer's film before their premiere.
And now time to beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is, I believe all the forms he uses here are all the forms in the first two episodes. I believe, because I think he uses both Heat Joker and Heat Metal in the first two episodes.
I think so.
Well, I sent Shadow Moon flying. Time to leave. My job's done.
Well,
And also, just a little detail: the Phillips side, the eye doesn't flash when Phillips talking. That's something I think only people who really pay attention to Double are ever going to notice about this cameo.
yeah. I like that though. Double just rolls in, kicks ass, rolls out.
Yeah. But he doesn't get to be a part of the whole big kick the building down. It's like, how are we gonna take down the building? Let's just all kick it.
But when did she get out of it?
I don't know. I don't think that was Sukasa's main concern, and somehow they end up back where they started.
Yeah. Exactly back where they started.
It's like we do that shot where they're running, and then we're just gonna back up and then go from there.
Well,
Oh,
maybe they just kicked around the earth.
that's a long trip. And it's like, huh, we beat everybody. Shit, we forgot about the big one. Anybody see Jay? We're gonna need him. Nobody? Fuck.
There he is.
Yeah. I
Way
was
to
about to say,
show up late.
yeah. I was about to say, I don't think the writers are used to fighting giant monsters. Well, Hibiki is, but not that big. Wait, you've been hiding him?
Where have you been hiding him?
That's a good question.
Run! Dodge the big head coming at you.
By the way, Sakasa, I've also had this in waiting too.
Would you turn around? And a giant Deca driver.
And now, giant decade complete. Which I think this was also the first time we saw decade complete. Quick cut, and where I'm changing where I'm throwing my punches. And apparently Dean decided to opt out of that attack. Because his card's not there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He's like, I did my job. Y'all have fun with that one. Nobody gonna say anything? No, we're just gonna stare awkwardly at each other.
Just stare.
Yep.
That's all that's needed. All you guys have to do is just look at them. Now turn and walk away.
Yeah.
But do it slow. Can't do any fast walking.
Yeah. I guarantee you that was the direction for the whole scene. Oh, by the way, Amazon, you probably needed this before to stay alive, but here you go. Have it back. Oh, by the way, the original guy for Akito. They got him back for the movie. And the guy for Black RX. Yes, I'm busy. I'm making all the films because people love me. You still have a long way to go, Tsukasa, to beat my film count. Let's just say as the credits roll, but we still got a little bit more before we can get final thoughts.
Yeah, unlike most of them, when we get to the credits and that's it.
Yeah. Yes. He says to go on a journey with her, but now she's like, nah, you go on your own. I'm good. I'll just go on my own journey. Oh yeah, that whole worlds colliding part, don't worry about it. Hopefully she knows how to operate that camera. Oh, and apparently Grandpa was okay. And where's Kivala been this whole film? Seriously, your partner Narataki could have used your help. Sure it has. Remember that when we come around the superhero's eyes and never. Wherever the studio has planned. Now that the movie's done, final thoughts on it.
It definitely is a better ending for it,
Yeah.
even though Tsukasa never knows how to apologize.
Yeah.
'Cause
Except to his sister.
Yeah, yeah, she's the only one that he apologized to.
Which draws a bad comparison to me for Kabuto. It's like, oh god, it's Kabuto all over again. The only person to care about is his sister. And he's known her for less than a day.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. God damn it. But overall, this is an ending for Decade. And the fact that Sayo's not on them for another journey makes me go, darn it! She was at least a decent character. I would like to see that dynamic. Tsukasa now having to have his sister tag along.
Well, it could have worked to be a better show if you think about it. But in the same sense, it could take too much from the way Ryuki's played out. Because you think about it, she can open the portals, he can go through them.
Yeah.
Combine that together, all she is the mirrors for him to go in and out.
True, but yeah.
It's too close of a comparison to me.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they didn't go that way with it. But it would have been neat to have seen that go after. Like, make this like a midway movie and then have something to keep going off of it.
Yeah. Plus, she kind of replaces Natsumi because what the hell does Natsumi have in terms of a relationship with Tsukasa until it's after this movie? When this movie doesn't count. Seriously.
True.
Because Natsumi's kind of there until the end, when all of a sudden, she matters to him. Even though, in Ryuki's episode, like you said, she's arrested, and he's just like all nonchalant about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the same episode where he calls dibs on Ryder kicking a fool. Same episode! Yeah. I think that's what frustrates me with Decade, is that it has good things about it, it's just they're never really done more with. It's kind of like, oh, well, we have this little idea, but we're just going to ignore it. Even though it's a good idea.
Well, and the one thing they ignored still?
The worlds colliding.
Yep.
Just completely dropping that point. It's like, oh, we're just going to ignore that even though we still didn't explain it.
Are they still colliding? Have they stopped?
Because they wrote off the explanation!
Exactly.
It's like the worlds colliding and the writers have nothing to do with each other. It's like, oh, the worlds aren't colliding because the writers' powers are drawing them together, because that's a stupid explanation. They're coming together because... I don't know.
The only possible thing I can think of that would even make a lick of sense would be that Earthstone that she shattered.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was drawing the worlds together.
Maybe. I guess
I don't know.
Going off the movie we didn't get, I'd have to assume that there's 2 decades. There's a decade we know, and then another decade that is the cause of all of the problems. Like somehow he's bringing the worlds together.
That would make a lot more sense there.
Yeah.
Because even from Narutaki's standpoint, when he's saying that everything is because of Decade.
Yeah.
If there's an alternate Decade that is doing all of this, Narutaki would be right. He's just blaming the wrong Decade.
Yeah. And the thing is, you wouldn't have to do that much for it to be a misconception, because I go to the original Climax Heroes. In the original Climax Heroes, you can unlock a Dark Decade, who's really just a palette swap of Decade. Now, as we've seen, Decade, when he swaps to another rider, the belt stays the same. What if this Dark Decade had a card for our Decade? Then all he has to do is put it in, and all of a sudden he's the other Decade. The belt looks the same. He's just changed his colors.
True.
So now we know why Narutaki thinks it's the other Decade, because he's seen him do this, he's just seen the wrong one do it. And now all of a sudden we have a better ending for Decade.
to me, even with this movie, it still feels like the season is not done.
Yeah,
Like they just said, okay, well, we did that. Let's move on.
yeah. Especially since this completely ignores all the alternate universes except Kuga. Because again, all the writers in there are the originals.
Yeah.
Because when you hear Kiva, it's not a kid's voice. Now you think even Hibiki is not a kid's voice, and that's your main clue.
Well, I know you could clearly tell it with Kiva. I didn't catch the one for Hibiki though.
Yeah, I don't think he says anything at all. So
I don't think he does, but I mean, you could tell the one for Kiva.
yeah.
So,
And hell, the original, the Agito who's in that fight, dehensions and is the original actor playing the original character. So it is the original writers.
which that could mean one of two things there. One, he eliminated the alternate writers at the beginning of it, or he was fighting the original writers at the beginning of it and they just disappeared.
And there's no way to tell because they were all the Showa guys, and we never saw alternate versions of them, except for
Right.
Riderman. But that was after the fact. Yeah. If he is fighting the alternate, just a bunch of alternate riders just to trick them, there's no hint to that, and he doesn't cop up to it. So I doubt
That's
I
where
doubt
the
that
problem comes in.
yeah, I doubt it unless it's a really happy coincidence. And if it's just the originals, how the fuck did they come back? Better
But
yet,
like you
where'd
said,
they
they
go?
just, like you said though, they just lost a battle and went through a dimensional portal to God only knows where.
I-
And then you got to think about it too. Narataki, what was he talking about? Getting all the remaining riders together to possibly stand a chance against them.
And that involves Oja and Kickhopper, which is a horrible idea to begin with.
Yeah.
Seriously, Dean, for someone who's supposed to know things about the riders, just like how Tsukasa is supposed to know things about the riders somehow, seriously, you think teaming up with a serial killer and an insane person is going to be the best move?
Yep.
And I'm being serious. Oja is a legit serial killer. He's a criminal. Kickhopper is insane. You really okay, if that's your only two options, then I guess you're willing to take the risk. But seriously? Seriously? I'd take anybody at that point besides them. Because I'm like, let's see, let's go get G. G, the guy who had like one special who's played by a guy in a band whose henshin device involves a bottle of wine.
I know you're not joking. That's why I'm not going to ask.
Yeah. And technically, that's already connected to Decade, because Decade and the writers show up in the special to support him in his fight. So you should know about him, because Decade probably told you about him. Let's see, Fem, like any of the other Ryuki writers that aren't insane? Or possibly dead? Or villainous? Or the Fives writers? Or the rest of Blade's team? Or any of the Hibiki writers? Or any of the Kabuto writers who might be helping? Seriously, you have more options here, because we don't know who's in the fight. Like,
Yes, seriously.
we knew Ixa was in the fight, but who else was in there? Because I don't think the director's cut adds much more to that.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna check the wiki.
But I mean, uh, I think the only rider that I could understand them not going to would be Double, and that's because no one knew about them until they rode up.
Yeah.
But like you said, any other rider should have been first pick. But no, let's get the two evil ones. Yeah, they're gonna side with the good guys. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
worked real well. uh,
So yeah, I guess. Would you recommend the film?
if you're wanting to finish Decade, yeah, because I feel like this is a better finish for it. But if you're just wanting to watch it, there's probably better ones out there. It's not bad, but yeah.
And now I'm looking in because there was a manga adaptation of said film. That has changes, and it's apparently from earlier versions of the script. Alright, let's see. Apparently Tsukasa never embraced his Dai Shocker personality.
Huh.
Yeah, wow. Tsukasa is far more sympathetic in the one line I read, as he agrees to the rider battle to save the world, but he expresses sadness after the final round, that 3-on-3 fight, that he just erased the riders and can't meet them anymore. Uh, Tsukasa doesn't go through the whole evil phase. Wow, this manga adaptation is already fixing my main problem with the film. What in the fuck? So yeah, I'll read this later. Um, I'd recommend the film again. Just if you're looking for the end of the decade, just watch this film. Save yourself the trouble of watching Movie War 2010. But if you want to complete all of decade, then go ahead and watch Movie War 2010. And I think that's pretty much it. Anything else to say?
Not really.
Alrighty then. Then I can't say next week because I don't know what we're doing next week. But in just a couple of weeks, we'll be starting our new season where we look at Kamen Rider Wizard from beginning to end. And hopefully by next week we will have made a decision on which end we're talking about. But until then, that's been it for
Rampant Epsilon.
I'm FaceMaker2448 saying night everybody, and we will see you on the next round of the Game of Saloon Rift Tracks. Peace out.
As always, you can find the Game of the Saloon Rift Tracks on our site, tgsr.dynds.org. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Our Twitter account is at TGSRiftTracks, and on Facebook, you can find us at facebook.com/TGSRiftTracks. Don't forget we're listed on YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com/user/TGSRiftTracks. Also, don't forget about our mobile app. It's going to be updated every week after TGSR with archives for both TGS and TGSR. You can download it on our site. Till next time.